Hey YouTube, what up? Welcome back. Alright, I want to do a quick video about the uplifting and empowerment of dark-skinned people as it relates to light-skinned people. Of course, this is in the black community, right? Alright, so the question is, does the empowerment and upliftment of dark-skinned black people mean the erasure of light-skinned black people? I would say ultimately, no, it does not. It means the end of erasure, right? It does, like, the goal isn't to erase light-skinned people, of course. I don't think, one way or another, I don't think dark-skinned folks, by and large, are trying to erase lighter-skinned folk as a collective, of course. I know there's some folks who would, actually like to purge light-skinned people from the community. At least one gender, one or the other gender, at least. Another video, I suppose. Because I do, on some level, actually believe that if the black community had its way, it would just make all the women light-skinned and all the men dark-skinned. Like, and just do away with anyone who didn't fit that criteria, right? You would be outside of the community. But, another video for another day, I suppose. All right. But I do bring up this question because sometimes when we talk about, colorism and, dark-skinned folks and light-skinned folks and, finding ways to empower dark-skinned folk, especially dark-skinned women, some people kind of start feeling some sort of a way. Some darker-skinned people, even maybe to an extent, may feel some sort of a way, but lighter-skinned people as well. Oftentimes when light-skinned women are attacked, some light-skinned men will feel the need to jump in and defend light-skinned women, at least to an extent, because the light-skinned man, and as well as the biracial dude who, claims blackness as an identity, they know that their identity is linked, like, it's sort of linked to biracial / light-skinned females' identity, right? It's kind of like there's a connection, if this group is erased, then this probably means the erasure of you as well, right? And I think darker skinned women kind of act on that similar mindset when it comes to dark skinned men, right? Now, I don't know if it's like reciprocated, perhaps, but I don't know for sure. Like, if, dark skinned men feel that way about dark skinned women and light skinned women feel that way about light skinned men, I don't know. For sure. As a collective, of course. I don't know. And I think, the situation's a little similar to like how maybe white people may feel about, ending white supremacy, where it's like, well, what about, kind of like what will happen to them if white supremacy ends? And I think on some level, some light-skinned people may feel like what will happen to them if like light-skinned privilege ends. Like, I think that's kind of goes through some light-skinned people's minds as well. And I would say, like, erasure has definitely popped into my mind at one point or another. It has crossed my mind. I don't really, tend to, dwell on it, because the way that I see it is, as I explained earlier, it's, this is supposed to end erasure. This, like, the purpose of, addressing colorism is to end erasure, not to promote erasure. It's not like, oh, let's erase light-skinned folks from the community. It's not like that. It's just, hey, basically, dark skin lives matter, right? Like, hey, it's not saying dark skin lives matter only. It's just saying dark skin lives matter too, right? Pretty much. Yeah. But, sometimes you may notice that some, lighter skinned folks and also some darker skinned folks who have, some sort of a connection to lighter skinned folks may feel some sort of a way about that. So it's like, don't attack, especially when it's a light skinned woman, the capes come on, and folks are just, caping for this light skinned woman, right? And I think on some level, that may be a part of the reason where it's like, okay, let's not attack light skinned folks, let's not erase light skinned folk, etc. Right? Let's not demonize light skinned people, right? Even though that's not necessarily where like a lot of the folks are coming from who speak out about colorism. Though that's usually not where they're coming from, but that's usually where people take it though for some reason. And I don't know why that is. I guess maybe people are scared of what will happen if, quote unquote, there is actually a level playing field for all people despite skin tone. Maybe, perhaps, maybe people are scared of having their own biases and, insecurities and personal feelings revealed. I don't know. But ultimately, I think that light-skinned folks will be okay, But I think it sort of stems from a historical place where it's like light-skinned / biracial folks had at one point their own categories, but those categories were taken away with the implementation of the one drop rule, right? So it sort of left those people with sort of a lack of identity. So it's like, well, what kind of happens to lighter skinned folks if they are purged from the community? I suppose, like, I'm sure they would survive, but still, it's like, well, what happens though? Also, another question to throw out there: do you think that light skinned and dark skinned people can coexist without any conflict or any major conflict? Of course, there's going to always be conflict, but like any sort of like a major thing come up, right? And I think ultimately that is possible, but not under the system of white supremacy, though, because as you know, white supremacy, how it works is right. It's like, the lighter you are, the more privileges you are allotted, right? So I think because of that, there's always going to be some sort of a tension. But I will say that, darker skinned people do have like, I won't call it privilege because I don't want to offend anyone and put it on par with like light skin privileges and things like that. But I'll say that darker skinned people definitely hold the, like, they are sort of like who you go to for blackness, to put it for a lack of a better, term, right? They, are the key to blackness, right? So usually if you are black and you want to be identified as black, that's why you see like a lot of lighter skinned people, especially lighter skinned women, gravitating towards darker skinned people, right? Or I guess darker skinned men for the women. But lighter skinned folks gravitating towards darker skinned folks. In general, they use them as a way to solidify their place in the community, I guess. Like, hey, I'm black, and this is my, declaration of blackness, right? I'm black, I'm married to this black person who's dark skinned, and we'll have like a family, and et cetera, et cetera. But I'm going to bring this video to an end for now. Thanks for watching. Adios and goodbye for now.